Hey, what's up? My name is Colby Sharp. I am a 5th grade teacher in Michigan. Welcome to my channel where we try to help kids fall in love with reading. And one way that we do that is through great books. Like one of the best ways to do that is through great books. And today we're going to be talking about an amazing middle grade novel called B is for Blended by Lindsey Stoddard. Oh my gosh, it's like so beautiful. This book is so stinking amazing. It's a story of B and her mother and their new blended family. B has married the father of a kid in her class, and like B and this boy, Bryce, are, I guess, competitive against each other. They're both big soccer players. They played each other in like the championship game. Bryce won, and now they're heading to middle school where there is one soccer team, and it is a boys' soccer team. But B wants to play, right? And girls are allowed to play on the team, but it's just not, like they need their own team. So there's this new girl, A, who just moved across the street, and she's like really good at soccer. So B is like, kind of like maybe wanting to be friends with her, but also at the same time, like I'm the soccer player here. Anyways, they end up going out to play soccer, a few of the girls, and then they're like, this sucks, like let's get our own team. And so they get all these girls around, but then the principal is like super sexist and it thinks that they're like not as good. And when they form their team, it's like, well, you don't have enough, you don't have a sub, you don't have a manager, and like it's just like all these things constantly going against them. And eventually they get to play. The boys, instead of like them both teams practicing every day, like the girls have to practice Tuesday, Thursday, the boys have to practice Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so they only get 2. The boys, since they've won the title 9 years in a row, they get 3. And then he's just like terrible to them and like thinks they're going to be awful, and like gives like no respect for them. I don't know, like you've probably all seen this, right? Like we've all seen this in schools, the good old boys club, like especially when it comes to sports. And it's so infuriating, and like I've never seen it so well documented in a book. But like these girls are just like amazing human beings and gritty, and like they're not going to put up with it, and they like keep track of all the awful things that the principal says to them. And also like B's mom is like having a baby with B's like a stepdad. Now, there's just like so much amazingness going on, and I wish that I don't want to like just talk for like 20 minutes about all the things that happen in the book, because I want you to read the book. And usually like in these videos, I don't always talk a ton about what happens in the book, but like there's just so many interesting things happening. And like I could say, well, like, this is such a great sports book. And like, what kind of term is that? Like sports book? Like what else do we say? We do say dog books, right? Books that have like a dog in the character and where the dog is going to die. Sports books, like you're like, are they going to win? And like youth sports tend to not be super exciting, like for like in a book, but like, it's like so important in this book, and it's so well done. And I think it's really hard to make the sports interesting and to make like the things around the sports interesting in a book for kids. Like we're not playing for like Olympic gold medals. We're not playing for world championships. Like we're playing to play and to figure out how good we are and like show that we belong in this field. And it's just so well done. I don't know, a lot of like people who want to write books for sports, like Mike Lupica should like read this book and take some notes, because it's just it's beautiful, and I think kids are gonna love it. I kept thinking about this kid in my class the whole time I read this book, and like she doesn't put up with any crap from boys, and like she'll flat out say that's sexist to them, and they like don't even know how to respond. Like they don't even know how to respond. And I was like, man, like I don't even like, would she love it? Yes. Would she be affirmed? Absolutely. Would she like it? Maybe. She does not like sports at all, which is fine. Like you don't have to like sports or be like super into sports to like this book. But I can think like everyone else, like all these other people who are confused by the things she's saying and why she gets so offended by these things should read this book. So a lot of people should read this book. It's so stinking great. One of the best books where sports is like a big part of it that I've ever read. Like, right, like I grew up on like the Matt Christopher books, like it's all we had, and like this, and taking up space, like we're getting these books with these amazing characters when in sports is like a big part of them. Like I'm so excited, right? And it doesn't have to be written by like an athlete and like a ghostwriter. Like it's actually like just like such a good story written by someone who's really good at telling stories and gets sports. So I feel like I didn't do the book justice in this book talk. So just read it and then you'll see why I loved it so much. And then maybe you can tell me what I left out that was awesome. Oh, and Bridge to Terabithia is a huge part of this book. Oh, and then even like her older stepbrothers, like he has to do that thing where you have to like watch a robot baby or robot doll and it cries. Like there's just so much to love about this book. There's so much to love. Like it's so hard. I read this book at the end of the school year. It's so hard to read a book at the end of the school year because like you're so overwhelmed with what you have to do and sleep. And instead of like being overwhelmed by what I had to do, I just read the book instead. So I have a lot to do, but I got to enjoy and kind of be taken away from all that stress for a little while. Thank you so much for tuning in. Buy this book, subscribe to this channel, like this video. Thank you again. My name is Colby Sharp. I hope you have an awesome-tastic day.